Welcome to Mishna study Masechet Shabbat Perek Yod Mishnah. Here, over here in this Mishnah, we're going to discuss what we opened up with our first Mishnah in our Masechet, and that is when two people do a melacha together. Right? So if you remember, we spoke about the ani and the balabai, the poor person and the homeowner, right? One passed something to the other, right? So we said if the person does the entire melacha, he lifts it up in Reshut Yachid, he places it down in Reshut Rabim, then he's going to be hayab. But if the two of them did it together, right? One lifted it and the other one, took it from his hands and placed it in the other Reshut. So that's going to be right, if whatever that case, that would be patur. So now we're going to speak about a case where hamotzi kikar, a person takes a loaf out of bread, the Reshut Rabim, hayav. He's going to be hayav because he picked it up Reshut Yachid, he placed it down Reshut Rabim. Hosiu shenaim peturim. If two people do it, they are both patur. Right, and this is because we have a rule haoset kula velo haoset miksata. Right, you need to do the entire melacha. You can't do a portion of the melacha. Right, so if two people do it, shnaim shasua peturim. Let's say it was a massive loaf of bread, right? Picture, or if you had a couch, right? Let's say you took a couch outside, right? You have two people, you need two people to carry that couch. Two people carried it. Hayavim, they're both hayav, right? Because over here, you needed them both to carry it out. It was too big. One person couldn't do it alone. Rabbi Shimon poter. Rabbi Shimon says it's patur. They are patur over here, and halacha is not like Rabbi Shimon. Now the Mishnah, in most books continue. Harambam has this as a new Mishnah, so this will be Mishnah Vav Harambam. And now we're going to talk about taking foods out. But foods you're taking out with a utensil, right? So you do it with the vessel, right? So, take a piece of bread out in a bowl, right? On a plate. So now, you take out foods that are less than the shiur, less than, if you had food, it was less than the size of a less than the size of a fig, but you take it out, bakeli, you take it out in a utensil, you take it out on a plate. Patur af ala kli, shakli tefila lo. You patur even for the plate itself, because the plate is tefil to the food. The food is the main thing that you're taking out. So the food is less than the shiur. Even though you took out a plate with it, you're still patur for the plate itself. Eta hayba mita. Now we're going to know other things that you also patur for. So if you take out someone a live person, you take him out on his bed. Carry a person on a stretcher. Right? Patur afalamita. You patur even for the bed, even for that stretcher. Shamita tefillah lo. Because that bed is tefillah to that person. The person is the main object, right? And that's that. If there's something that you would be hayav for, it would be on that person. Now, the issue with the person, how come you're not hayav carrying a person? That's a separate rule. That's because a hay noseh, that's small, right? A person carries himself, and because a person carries himself, you can't be carrying him, right? By the way, it's not the case for animals, right? If you have an animal, behema, hayava, off, even though they're alive, they're still considered a masoi, right? According to Chachamim, and therefore a person carries animals on Shabbat, that would be hayav. Etamet bamita. Let's say a person takes dead person out in a coffin. Hayav. It's hayav, right? Because you carried a dead person. V'chen kazait minamet. Also, the minimum size is taking a kazait, the size of an olive's worth of a dead person. That's when you can be hayav. The kazait mina nevela, right? Or kazait from a carcass. V'chadasha mina sheretz, or the size of a lentil from a sheretz, right? From those creepy crows, the Shemona Shiratzim. Hayavim, that's when you're going to be hayav, right? Why? Because this is the minimum size to make something tameh, right? Less than a kazait from the met, less than a kazait from a carcass nevela, less than a kazait from a sheretz, kadasha, lentil size from the sheretz, that's not going to make something tameh. So therefore, it's not significant enough. But if you take out the appropriate size that would make something tameh, then you're going to be hayav. V'Rabbi Shimon poter. Right, Rabbi Shimon says they're patur. This is very interesting. Why does Rabbi Shimon say patur? So Rabbi Shimon says that the point of carrying the met, right, dead person, the nevela, the sheretz, right, all these little pieces of tum'ah, is not for the purpose of the item itself. Rather, you want to get that impurity, that tum'ah, out of your house. That's why you're taking it out. So you're doing this melacha of carrying, but it's not for the purpose of carrying. It's really to get the item away, not because you want to take it with you, right? And this is what we call a melacha she'ena tzricha ligufa, right? A melacha that you don't need for the goof of the melacha, for the actual point of the melacha. And according to Rabbi Shimon, patur aleh. Hachamim argue. Hachamim say no. It's melacha she'etzlicha l'gufa chayav alea. He's still going to be chayav. Chayav b'korban chavatat midoraita, right? And halacha over here is like Hachamim. It's not like Rabbi Shimon.